Afternoon everybody, and welcome back to Birmingham Wildlife Conservation Park for the latest in our Wednesday Facebook Live videos. We're continuing our world tour today, and we are now stopping off on the island of New Caledonia to meet our New Caledonian giant gecko. As ever, please feel free to send in any questions or comments you might have. Otherwise, we will just crack on with the video, and I will try and teach you a little something about these giant geckos. So yeah, we are around the keeper side of the giant gecko enclosure. That's because the giant gecko is actually quite difficult to spot, even though it is giant, as the name suggests. It is very difficult to spot in this enclosure. So it's a bit easier to see it from around the keeper side. And they are he is normally hidden in one of these cork tubes, and today he is just in here. I don't know if you can see him in there. The eyes having a look at us, the camera focus. There he is. Afternoon, Zena. Hope you're okay today. So yeah, here is our New Caledonian giant gecko. So this individual here is a male. He is 5 years old. Sorry, the camera's having a little bit of trouble focusing, but hopefully you can see a pair of eyes there, having a look at us in that cork tube. So like I say, this is a male, 5 years old, and yeah, he lives in this enclosure here, and he is normally found in one of these cork tubes. So when you do visit, always have a look in the two kind of bark cork tubes, because he is normally in one of these two. Can be difficult to spot, but like I say, he is normally in these tubes. So yeah, as the name suggests, the New Caledonian giant gecko is from the island of New Caledonia. So this is an island to the kind of north east of Australia, and it is a French territory, but being an island, it's got its own kind of unique wildlife and its own unique ecosystem, and this gecko is part of that ecosystem. So this species of gecko, as the name suggests, is giant, and it is actually the largest species of gecko in the world currently living. Individuals can grow up to around about 17 inches long. The one we've got here isn't quite that large, but yeah, they can grow up to 17 inches from nose to tail. This is kind of a phenomenon known as island giganticism, I think is the word, where individuals that live on an island end up evolving to be bigger and larger than their kind of mainland counterparts. So yeah, that's what's happened with this species. They've grown rather large over the years. The diet for these guys is mainly small invertebrates and small vertebrate prey as well. They'll also eat fruits and sap and things like that as well. So they've got quite a broad, varied diet. Here at the park, we feed kind of a mixture of live invertebrate food, a little bit of fruit, and they get a special gecko food as well, which is just a powder that we make up with water, which is what you want for these geckos when they live in captivity. So I'll just try and focus that a little bit better on him, because it's focusing on the cork tube, because it's quite dark in the tube. It's finding it hard to focus on him, but you can at least see the eyes there, which is good. Hi Tim, hope you're okay this week. Hi Judith, hope you're all okay. So in captivity, these guys can live quite long actually. They can live up to around about 20 years old. So like I say, this male that we've got here is 5 years old, and he's still fairly young. They are classed as least concern on the IUCN Red List out in the wild, but they are threatened with the usual habitat loss. Habitat loss and habitat degradation, as well as invasive species, hunting them. So kind of the same issues we spoke about with the bettong a couple of weeks ago, where invasive domestic animals such as rats, cats, etc., foxes, things like that, that can cause issues for these guys. But yeah, they are still currently classed as least concern. Hi Tracy, hope you're okay. So this is our New Caledonian giant gecko, Tim. And yes, it is just the one we've got, Zeno. We've just got the one in here. We did pair him up. We did have a pair at one point, but they didn't really get on, to be honest. So we moved them on. So we've just got this one now, which works a little bit better, really. He's nice and relaxed compared to when we had the pair in here. So this species does have a little bit of a reputation amongst locals on New Caledonia. They are known to make a little bit of a growling noise when they're annoyed, which does actually give them a bit of a nickname on New Caledonia, which is the devil in the trees. So yeah, they are kind of known for that kind of thing. There's also kind of folklore with kind of local people believing that these would attach to your soul and pull it out. So that kind of links to the devil in the trees thing as well. Yeah, there's a lot of folklore on these guys. I think because they're such a big, large species, a large species of gecko, they do have that little bit of a reputation. No, they don't get lonely on their own, Tim. The majority of reptile species are kind of solitary anyway. So yeah, doesn't affect this individual being on his own. He's perfectly happy. So like most gecko species, these guys can crawl up walls, up glass, on ceilings, etc. Even with their large size. Normally in the mornings or in the evenings, when we do our last checks, he'll actually be on the glass. So you can actually see how they kind of attach with the tiny little hairs on the feet, which allow them to kind of use their feet as suction cups and things like that, which is quite interesting to see. But like I say, normally when the public are here, he's in one of these cork bark tubes, unfortunately. Yes, Tracy, they do wash their own eyeballs with their tongue. Yeah, especially when we've kind of given these a spray down, and there's kind of water droplets on the face and on the eyes. You'll see them licking them off and cleaning them like that. So yeah, they do that much like a leopard gecko would. Oh, not all the keepers growl, Phil. Only a couple of them. So yeah, they are good climbers, Tim, and they are mainly found in the trees. They've got an arboreal lifestyle, so yeah, they are mainly found up in there. Right then, guys, I've rambled on. So if you've got any questions about these guys, please feel free to send them in. Otherwise, we will wrap up in a moment or two. But yeah, feel free to send in any questions about these guys. Like I say, they are when you get to see them properly, they are a lovely looking species. Got like nice coloration to them, greeny kind of brown. They do look slightly strange. They're quite squat and they've got saggy skin, quite a short stumpy tail as well, but they are very interesting animals to look at. There is a very tentative link to red pandas, Zena. No, they do both live in trees and things like that. Yeah, the red panda enclosure is just right at the back, so we might have a very quick look to see what the pandas are up to. So yeah, we do have smaller species than these here, Tim. We've got smaller gecko species off show at the moment. Actually, we've got the turquoise dwarf geckos, who we kind of have a couple of pairs living off show. They're a critically endangered species, a bright blue coloration. But yeah, they're the smallest species that we've got. I would think. I can't think of a smaller one than that. They're pretty chilled out with the keepers, Judith. Unless they, unless we have to catch them or anything like that. Normally they're okay. They do have a nasty bite on them, but most of the time he's all right. Saying that, I've never had to try and catch him, so yeah. I can't talk from experience with that one. Right then, guys, we'll leave Mr. Gecko here, and we will go and just have a quick look at the pandas. Just considering they are right out the back, we'll go and have a look at them in a second. I'll have to ask Zena. Yeah, I'd have to get permission on an off-show tour or anything like that. But yeah, it would be nice to go and have a quick look at one of the kind of our off-show reptile room. We haven't really got any other main off-show areas, so yeah, we'll have to have a look. But I can always ask a question, so we will get back to you on that one. Aria is just up here, so there we go. We'll finish off with the pandas as they are here. Hello, Aria, good girl. So yeah, next week we'll be back with the next part of our world tour. But I'll be honest, I forgot to look at who we're doing next week last night, so it'll have to be a surprise until next week. We'll be starting to move up into Southeast Asia, into Indonesia and things like that. So it'll be a Southeast Asian species of some sort, but I'll be completely honest, I can't remember which one I've got next. As you might have seen on the post advertising the video, we started doing this little map as well to kind of keep track of who we've seen, where they're from, and we're going to be updating that every week. So hopefully by the end of it we'll have a nice visual representation of all the species we've got on show, we'll have a nice kind of visual representation of where everyone's from and where we've been on our little world tour, which will be lovely. Yeah, I heard the news about Yasmin and Gower at Dudley, bless them. No, they didn't have a brilliant end to the year. Obviously Yasmin was our previous female Amber's mother, so yeah, it's quite sad that she's passed away now. But yeah, last time I saw them both actually in January last year, so yeah, they were both looking all right then. Yasmin was looking a bit doddery, bless her, but I think she was 17 when she passed away, so very good age for a red panda. Yeah, Aria's stuffing her face with bamboo. I think Mo's asleep in his bush, so we'll leave him be. Right then, guys, yeah, so thanks for tuning in as ever. We will be back next week with our next world tour video. Like I say, we'll have to wait until next week to find out what it is, because I cannot remember. So yeah, hopefully you will join us for that next week. Cheers, guys. Sorry, Zena. That's excellent. Updates from one of the keepers about Pan. No, I'm glad he's settling in well at Exmoor. I've been meaning to actually message. I've got a keeper there that I know and do talk to him frequently. I haven't actually messaged him yet. So yeah, no, I'll have to send him a message, see how he's getting on. Sorry, I saw that message and had to respond to that. Have a lovely Pan, bless him. Right, I'll leave you to it, guys. So yeah, have a good week and we'll see you next week. Thank you.